What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into a very specific hardware configuration that many of you in the community have been asking about. We're putting the Lenovo IdeaCentre to the absolute limit. This specific pre-built machine is running the RTX 3050 OEM 8GB version, paired up with a 12th gen Intel i5. Inside this tower, we also have 16GB of DDR4 RAM running at 3200 MHz and a 512GB NVMe SSD, which keeps those Apex loading times snappy. It's a combination that many entry-level grinders use, and today we see if it truly holds up in the chaos of the Apex games. One important note for this test: I have VSync enabled, locking our performance to a consistent 60 FPS. We want to see how much overhead this card has at every level while keeping the motion fluid and tear-free. Now, why are we doing this? In my opinion, this kind of granular testing is critical for the community. It's not just about seeing pretty colors or high numbers on a graph, it's about ensuring that every player, regardless of their budget, stays on the same level. We want to avoid those hardware disadvantages that can cost you an RP gain in a high-intensity ranked match. By locking to 60 FPS with VSync, we're looking for the smoothest, most consistent console-like experience on PC. By making these performance differences transparent, we make the game fairer for everyone. Can you actually see a difference between these presets when the frame rate is capped? Does it change how you aim? Let's find out. And hey, if you find this data useful for your next upgrade, don't forget to comment and subscribe. We're starting things off with low settings. Right now, our goal is raw, unadulterated stability. On this RTX 3050, the game feels incredibly snappy. Because we have VSync locked at 60, the GPU is barely breaking a sweat. If you look at the frame time graph, it is a perfectly flat line at 16.6 milliseconds, exactly what you want for a consistent feel. Even when we're dropping hot into Fragment or Skyhook, where the CPU usually starts to scream, the i5 is chilling. We aren't pushing for 144 FPS today, we're pushing for perfection at 60. Notice the textures, they are definitely flatter, and the shadows are basically non-existent. But look at the visibility. Without the extra clutter of high-res foliage or volumetric sunbeams, the enemy silhouettes pop against the background. For the player who wants a reliable experience without any screen tearing, this is the baseline. You're getting the lowest possible heat levels here. The OEM 8GB card is staying silent because it's not being forced to render frames we can't see. Even if you are on a standard 60Hz monitor, this setup ensures you never dip below that target during a chaotic ultimate rotation. It's about pure consistency over everything else. You can feel the responsiveness in every flick shot because the system has so much thermal headroom. Moving up to medium, this is where the Lenovo IdeaCentre starts to show its true balance. You'll immediately notice that the world of the Outlands starts to look, well, like a modern AAA game. The shadows become defined, and the weapon skins actually show their metallic luster under the sun of Stormpoint. We've added some texture filtering here, and the difference in world detail is night and day compared to the potato mode we just saw. We are still seeing a perfect 60 FPS lock here. Most reviewers across the web agree that for an 8GB card like this 3050, medium is the sweet spot. You get a significant bump in visual fidelity without the GPU even needing to work at full capacity. The VRAM usage is climbing, but with 8GB available on this OEM model, we have plenty of headroom. If you look closely at the foliage, they have much more depth now. It's a more immersive experience, and for the casual competitive player, this offers the best of both worlds. Since we have VSync on, there is absolutely zero screen tearing as we pan the camera. We aren't losing any responsiveness, but the game looks significantly less dated. This is likely how most people will enjoy the game on this specific Lenovo setup: smooth, pretty, and perfectly synced. Now, let's push the envelope and move to high. You can see the lighting effects on the shields and character abilities really start to pop. Look at the thermite grenades and the Bangalore smoke. The particle density is much higher. The Intel i5 and the 3050 are starting to work a bit harder now. Even with the 60 FPS cap, the GPU usage percentage is starting to rise to maintain that vertical sync. You might notice the fans on the Lenovo IdeaCentre ramping up just a bit to keep things cool. It is still perfectly smooth, but we are starting to use more of the card's actual power. Is it worth the trade-off? In a game as fast as Apex, having that 60 FPS lock stay solid is the most important thing. On high settings, the textures are crisp, and the environmental masking is top tier. You can see the wear and tear on the buildings, the grit in the dirt. It's beautiful, and because of VSync, the frame delivery remains frame perfect. If you're a content creator who wants their recorded footage to look professional while still having a stable play experience, this is likely where you'll land. The 3050 OEM is proving it can maintain a lock even when the screen gets busy with Gibbs ultimates and thermite fire. Finally, we have reached Ultra. We have cranked every single dial to the max, every blade of grass, every ripple in the water, every distant shadow. The RTX 3050 8GB is finally being pushed to its limits. This is the moment of truth for our 60 FPS Vsync-Locked. While the game looks absolutely stunning, rivaling some of the best-looking shooters on the market, the GPU is now working at high utilization. The question is, can it hold the 60? For the most part, yes. Look at the detail on the Legend's gloves and weapons. This is for the players who aren't just here for the win, they're here for the experience. They want to see the heat blur at the edge of the ring and the detailed reflections in the windows of World's Edge. Even at these maxed out settings, the RTX 3050 OEM proves it's a capable card, fighting to stay at that 60 FPS golden standard. It's a testament to how well optimized Apex is and how much punch this Lenovo pre-built is actually packing for its price point. You're seeing the full vision of the developers, here synced flawlessly to your monitor's refresh rate. So, looking back at all the footage, can you spot the difference that matters most to you? Even with the 60 FPS cap, do you prefer the input clarity of low, or are you willing to push the hardware for the visual glory of Ultra? This setup proves it can handle the heat, no matter your preference. It's a solid choice for anyone looking to enter the world of PC gaming with a stable, tear-free experience. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.